not Dvaita, it's not Advaita, but diversity is something that we need. We need to be open. We cannot afford to be rigid. So, with that in mind, we'll open it up for Q&A. There you go, 15 seconds.
Namaste Swamiji, Brahmacharya Ji. Thank you for your wisdom, for your presence here today. Many of you have been scholars and practitioners of Vedanta for decades. And so to that, I wonder if any of you have achieved an enlightened or elevated state. If not, what comes in your way? And do you plan to, do you wish to during this lifetime?
Who are you addressing the question to? Openness is not really good. You have to be open in order to avoid rigidity, but if you have to direct the question, who would you direct it to? You have to pick.
Anyone who claims to be enlightened.
All of us are enlightened to a certain extent. So, if it is thrown out there in the universe for anyone to capture, we'll wait till someone captures that.
You can make a statement. Let them ask some questions on some topics, some subject that we discussed during this evening session. Ask them to ask questions related to the topics that we discussed in this session. That would be better.
That is better. Yes.
My name is Biplab Bhattacharya, and my question is about Maya. Maya is defined as illusion. Maya is also defined as ignorance, and we hear Maya as Sakti. That's on the positive side. So I am ignorant about Maya. So any august speaker can dwell on it. Thank you.
If you leave it open like that, then it falls on me. So that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. So, please.
So, Maya is something that you realize to be unreal when you transcend it. When you are within Maya, you don't realize that Maya is Maya. When you transcend it, then you understand it is Maya. So the word Ma, see Ma actually it is when used in Sanskrit grammar, Ma gachadu, don't go there, don't come here. That means it is you are negating. Ya is a pronoun. Yastri swayam sukudinam bhavaneshu. So it is a pronoun. So you don't use a pronoun towards something which really doesn't exist. And you don't use Ma towards something that actually exists. So Maya is something that really doesn't exist, but we are part of it. For all practical purposes, it exists. So it is neither real nor unreal, but you understand it only when you transcend it. So that's the only, even Shankaracharya says beyond definition. So how can I try to, or any one of us try to define it? Mahat Buddha Adivachaniya Rupa. That's what more can you say? It is beyond definition, beyond description. Dvaita, there are two things which are non-definable. One is Brahman, because it is Vaja Magoja, it transcends words. Maya, because Maya is something that really cannot be explained, it actually doesn't exist. At the same time, before we realize that it doesn't exist, we are part of it. So that's the only reason. Okay, I think I tried to explain this.
That's very good. Thank you.
Yeah, hello. Challenges first to our acharyas. And thank you for organizers to organize this conference. My name is Manish. My question is open to any acharyas who can take this question. This is about famous debate between Adi Shankaracharya and Madan Mohan Mishra, where Adi Shankaracharya entered into a dead body to experience the material life. Is there any literature that describes this process, how it was done? And is it possible to share some references of the literature from Adi Shankaracharya, how it was done? And is it possible to replicate this process by someone in modern time?
You know, I think you're talking about the debate between Mandanamism and Shankaracharya.
Yes, sorry.
So at the end of the 15 days debate, Mandanamisa's wife, who according to some tradition was an embodiment of Goddess Saraswati, she wanted to make sure that she also should be defeated. If Shankara defeated Mandana, that's okay. But according to your Hindu tradition, wife and husband together they share same dharma, sagadharmini. So that's why Grihnamitum Saugadattena Hasta, so that's a Vivaha Sukta is there in Rigveda. So it means husband is defeated, but that's not enough. You should defeat the wife also. Then only the husband will be considered to be defeated. So she asked, you defeat me. So Shankaracharya, a young boy, maybe 12, 13 years, mind you, and she was asked a question about something like the Virsasana. Now, that's a question that even I cannot answer. So, but what Shankaracharya did, that's again the history disappears, mythology comes in. What happens? There is a story that Shankaracharya left that body and took the care of one of his disciples, went to a king who was dead and entered that king's body, and then he had a Grihasthasrama experience and came back and responded to Vedant's question, and so practically he won the debate, and that is the end of the debate. Mandana became a sannyasi and his wife Vedanta became a sannyasini. This is a story. Remember, if we ask these questions, really there cannot be an answer because the history takes a back seat and mythology comes in. So Shankara Digyujaya, whether it is Anandagiri, Govindiya or Vidyaranya, Madhaviya, Shankara, all these Shankara Digyujayas are full of the stories, but there are many wonderful incidents which are purely historical. So, but why don't you confine your question to some very interesting philosophical topics that we're discussing in our highly enlightened audience like this? Maharaj.
The previous question, what is Maya? So I'll give two examples. You are dreaming. In your dream, can you explain what is dream? Second, you have written a novel. You have conceived few characters. Can those characters answer why we are created? What was that? If you can answer that, then we'll answer.
Thank you. Next question. Just hold on.
Satyamanandaji, even a serial killer also can say, Aham Brahmasmi. So there is some way to explain the difference between a serial killer and an ordinary other human being.
Aham Brahmasmi is not actually a philosophical construct. It is an experience. In fact, at the end of the Samannaya Adhikaranam, at the end of the Sutri, I quoted just now, it is supposed to be from Sundara Pandya, who was a pre-Shankara Advaiti. And so Shankaracharya is not his word, which is Abhija. It is also said like that. So it's actually a quotation from a book by Sundara Pandya. The full book is not yet available. A pre-Shankara Advaiti. So he says, before you attain Brahmajnana, Brahmavijnana Prag, Brahmavijnana Prag, before you attain Brahmajnanam, you have this Mahavakya, Agam Brahmavami, Tattvamasi, Upanishad, Vedas, everything. When you attain Brahmajnanam, even Agam Brahmasmi Mahavakya itself disappears. Because Agam Brahmasmi Mahavakya is only penultimate state. Agam Brahmasmi experience is the ultimate. So Mahavakya is within Pramana, but the Mahavakya experience is beyond Pramana, and the language of that experience is silence. Andaya Bhagavadinam Anandaya Mukam. So that's why Anubhava Avasanatva, Anubhava Vidya, Bhashikara says again and again, the ultimate criterion for Advaita is not even Mahavakya, it is the Anubhuti which is indicated by Mahavakya. So Mahavakya is not the ultimate, but the experience that is indicated by Mahavakya is the ultimate. That's why, according to Shankaracharya, all the Vedas, in the Mundagopanishad, there is in the beginning, Grihastha asks the question, and then the Rishi says, what is Aparavidya? Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharveda, Akshara, the entire 4 Vedas, 5 Puranas, everything is given. 18 Mahavidyas are given as Aparavidya, secondary knowledge. In Aham Brahmasmi is also Aparavidya, means secondary knowledge. Aham Brahmasmi experience is primary, absolute. So we should always remember, Advaita speciality is, Shankaracharya says, truth is beyond Upanishads. Truth is beyond Mahavakyas. Truth is experience. Sri Ramakrishna, in the gospel you find, Sri Ramakrishna's life you find, he had to walk down several steps below to speak about his experience. So, the highest is silence, below that Omkara, below that Gayatri, below that Vedas, below that Upanishads, below that Mahavakyas, below that, that's comes down. So remember, this is a very important thing. That's why Mahavakya is okay in the book written, but that is not the real experience, that's the absolute. The experience, the Anubhuti, which is indicated by Mahavakya, is the ultimate.
Thank you.
My brother has explained it very well. Only I give Praman. Yatra Veda Aveda Bhavanti. Veda also becomes Aveda. That is experience. As Sri Ramakrishna, when he would utter Om, he would say that I have descended down 100 cubits. So this is Pramana.
Thank you. As Swamiji had mentioned, we need balance between right and left. The balance has become a little bit too much. So we have to cut everything down by about 5, 10. That's the max we can do because we're already behind. But
hello, my name is Sujata Sinha. My question is way below. Anybody can respond, but particularly Sharapanandaji, I would like you to respond to it.
Sharapanandaji will not answer any questions.
Okay, anybody then.
Right.
My interest is in the continuity of Indian philosophy, unlike Egyptian or Greek, through thousands of years, through many, many invading cultures, it has survived. I would like your comments on how does that make Hindu or philosophy more appropriate for modernity, where we are used to scrutinizing everything with scientific principles and rationality. The relevance of that. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Who wants to take that?
Your question presupposes that it's not modern. But what Swami Vivekananda said, even the latest discoveries of the science looks a distant echo of what we discovered in our Vedas, what is discovered in Vedas. For that matter, even the quantum theory, quantum physics that is going on, still they are searching in objects, but this is the subject that we have discovered. That means the Vedic rishis. So I think it is most modern than modern, and post-truth, as they say.
Thank you.
Namaste, and thank you for a wonderful presentation. My name is Richard, and my question is for whoever is most knowledgeable about Bhaskara's Alpatika Vedanta. Is the only difference between Shankara and Bhaskara the existence of Latis?
Bhaskara was a Vedavada. So, Vedavada is different from Advaita. Vedavada is slightly similar to the Jnana Karma Samucheva. So, I quoted from Bhakti Prapancha's philosophy. The book is not available. It is condensation of Shankaracharya, his own summary of Bhakti Prapancha Madam, it is called. So that you see, a tree, leaves, trunk, roots, all these are part of the tree. Tree is correct as an entity, these parts are also correct. Now each of them have the same level of reality. There are two fundamental categories, unlike Advaita. In Advaita, you go beyond plurality and you see the unity one behind it. In Veda, Veda is correct, Abheda is correct. So more like Chit Achit Visishta, people Visishta. And second point, just one point I will add, then I will conclude. See, somebody asked this question about continuity of Indian philosophy. If you look at Swamiji's life, in 1897 he returned to India, he landed in Colombo, gave a lecture in Columbus called, as Swamiji says, if Manu returned today, he won't find himself in the strange land. Swamiji says, he won't be bewildered, he won't find himself in the strange land. So Swamiji says, if Manu lived in early Vedic periods, 4,000, 5,000 years ago, if he returned to India in 1897, practically our own time, 2025, Manu will find the same ancient Sanatana Dharma continuing. So in every age there is a new edition, new teacher who brings the best from the past, reinterprets and hands over to the next generation. This mechanism of Acharya and Avatara, this spiritual mechanism of Guru, Sishya, Pratyishya, Parampara, that's what preserves Indian culture, Indian tradition. Not only Vedanta, music, art, the Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi, all these temple architecture you find, they were building the same temples, same manner 3,000 years ago. We build the same thing. We don't know how the Egyptians built the pyramids. The technology is lost. We don't know many of the ancient technologies of other civilizations. But the same thing continues in modern times. That's perhaps what you're referring to. Thank you.
Yes. So I've been told that this will be the last question because the hot tea will become iced tea and we don't want that. And we do not have puris or kachoris, but it will be just hot tea and Krishna will take and the food volunteers will take the Swamijis out in about 5 minutes. So that's all we have today. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Siva Joshi and this question is from Brahmacharya. We are the authentic witness, which is same as Atman, same as Brahman, and same as perfect. Then why do we erroneously embrace, quote, we are here on this earth for the evolution of the Atman? Why? Since the Atman is already perfect. Please elaborate. Thank you.
So, the answer given to that, as we have been discussing, is Maya. Why is it that if we're Atma, we don't know that already? There's a quote that from Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji. He says, Nahyasya vidya manaso atirikta, manohya vidya bhava bandhahitu, tasmin vinashte sakalam vinashtam vijrimbate ismin sakalam vijrimbate. What that means is, he says, Nahyasya vidya manaso atirikta. There is no avidya, there is no Maya apart from your mind. Because of this mind, so I spoke about the clinging nature of our mind. I like to say we have adhesive personalities. I mean, anything we interact with, we let it stick to us. Because of that, we have let this notion of all these different identities stick to us. And because those things are sthula, remember there's Shariratraya, right? There's sthula, sukshma, karana. That which is sthula, which is gross, it's so much more tangible. The mind holds to that so much more easily. Subtle thoughts are more difficult. Causal and Brahman is beyond those three. So that which is more gross we hold to. So we hold to these upadhis and these identities. Why? Because nahyasya vidya manaso atirikta. Because because Maya lives rent-free in our mind only. And so until we can surpass that, and Maya is what? Avidya, ignorance, which means the solution is knowledge. So until we can educate ourselves past that illusion, we will not know what is actually in us already. That is the nature of the illusion. And that quotation says, Tasmin vinashte sakalam vinashtam. The minute I can destroy this mind and its illusions, this whole Maya disappears. But vijrimbate tasmin sakalam vijrimbate. Every time I allow this mind to rise up, the whole world comes back into being for me. So the answer is, it's in you, that's why. And you have to control that and transcend the illusion of what you think is to reach to that which already is there.
Let's give our panelists.
Can we do one more question, Shantanu?
Huh?
One more question?
No.
No.
Sorry.
No.
Next session.
Next session. We'll go to the next session. Let's give our panelists a warm